Hello students. Okay, in the last example or in my last tutorials I have talked about how to make a home page which had various menus, and these menus, along with the menus, we also saw how to make sub menus. Okay, now the next topic which comes across is that after the menus are created, how to develop a content page. Okay, and when we develop content pages, how things would be placed, how they would be aligned. So I'm preparing this video to discuss with you how to make a content page. Okay. So when we start making the content page, there are some pointers which I want to highlight in my previous example. Okay, over here is that you can see these menus which are appearing, right? But is this web page would be look the same if I view it in on another devices other than a laptop? Because say if I'm viewing in an iPad, the iPad width of the iPad screen would be different. Say if the width is a bit smaller, then if you notice this is the iPad width. So if you notice up here, I am not able to see the training and the contact menus. Or say when I am seeing the same web page in a mobile device, at that time say if the width is this size, then I'm just able to see the four menus here, right? So we have made a web page, but this web page is not catering for all the devices. Okay, and how to resolve this issue is that we have to take the help of HTML5. And in HTML5 there is something which is called as making responsive web pages. What do you mean by responsive web pages is that responsive web pages is about creating a page that looks good on all devices. A responsive web page will automatically adjust for different screen sizes and viewports, and so that's the important thing, it will automatically adjust. We just have to write some basic tags to make that thing possible. And which tag we use is the name is meta tag. Meta tag comes in the head section, and the meta is called data about the data. And if you write viewport, and we mention the content with device with equal to device width. So irrespective of whichever device we are using, the screen would be automatically adjusted. So student, I'm going to make an HTML page which will be responsive. Also students, I'm going to discuss in this tutorial about HTML layout. What do you mean by HTML layout? HTML layout is that we have the menu page which is there, that's looking fine, but there are many contents to be added. Okay, and for adding those content, HTML5 has divided or has made something which is possible through HTML layout, wherein we can divide into sections. Okay, we can name some part which is header, okay, which is footer. Nav stand for navigation. So depending upon what type of content I'm adding, I can use some special HTML elements to denote that what type of data is added depending upon the HTML element which we use. See, for example, student, the header and the footer, they are there on every pages. You develop sub pages, again the headers and footers would be there. So we have now a precise HTML tag itself to identify what contents are being placed. If I have some hyperlinks, so then I'll be using navigation nav tag. Okay, so these such HTML tags are which define the layout. They are called HTML semantics. The semantic element clearly describes its meaning to both the browser and the developer. So it makes us also understand, yes, this is something an header, this is something a part of a footer. They all come inside the body tag, but we have precise subsections which can be created. Okay, so students, these are the some of the points, and I am we are today we are going to develop a HTML page which will look something like this. I've already developed this page, so I'll show it to you from here. Okay, I've developed an index page, and it is going to be having a very professional look. Okay, wherein there will be headers, there would be sections which will be created, and there would be subsections here, there'll be footers here, and also the best part is that when I do some alignments to these web page, if you see, if I shrink it, okay, the content won't disappear. See how this part is getting, it's getting realigned itself, okay, and the content, say, will won't disappear. Say it had three of the images here, so it will not hide itself. See, it will be scrolled down, and but it will be visible. Okay, so student, this is the topic for today. That is, we are going to develop a professional web page. Okay, and I'm going to make it from scratch by using Visual Studio Code Editor. Okay, so let me start for this. Website is my main folder wherein I've been saving all my work. So I'll go to the Finder. Okay, and from here, the website folder is in the desktop folder. So I'll type in, go to the websites folder. Okay, and once I am into this website folder on the desktop, let's go, let me go there. Okay, yes, so in this website folder, students, I'm going to create a new folder this time. Right click, new folder, let me name it as, say, uh, solution. So this is like criteria C, creating a solution. So I'll name this solution folder, and let me come back to my Visual Studio Code Editor and select, look for that folder which is solutions folder. Yes, it is here. In this solutions folder, now I'm going to create subfolders. So let's highlight this and then create a new folder. Okay, I'll name one folder with the name CSS. So there would be CSS file will be stored here. Again, go back to solutions folder, and I'll get one more folder with the name IMG, wherein precisely any images are there, they would be stored in this folder. Okay, and in if this example, if you notice, I'm using some images. This is the background image, some image used, and these are the other three images which have been used. So I already have it with me, so I'll just copy it from here. Okay, they are in my websites folder, IMG. So these are the four images, students. So I'll copy these four images. Okay, Control C, and I'll paste it in my solution folder, but where I'll paste it, in the image subfolder. So I'll paste it here, Command V. So these are my four images now. Now I'll go back to my solutions folder, and in the solutions folder I will be creating some HTML page. Let me name the first HTML page is index.html. Okay, and I'll close the other tabs which are open. Okay, so we are going to have our first page which is index.html, which is this one. Okay, and what are we, so I'll do one thing. I'll just rearrange the screen so that we know what exactly are we going to develop. So I will align it here. Okay, it's going to be interesting, student, to see to making a complete web page. It's like your criteria C started now. Okay, and I'll close the other screens. Okay, I don't need this screen either. Yes, this is the page which I want to make, so I'll keep just one page here. Okay, and today I'm going to show you how to make an home page. Okay, and this is the home page. About and services page I'll show you next time. So okay, we'll be having all these placements done, the coloring effect, okay, and all. So let's start, and so I'll keep it this part here. Okay, so we'll start with the HTML code, students, and this also I'll just, so screen spaces usual. Start with HTML. In the HTML I'll write the head tag. Okay, and this time I'm going to use a meta tag. As I just discussed, we want to make a responsive web page, so we need to use a meta tag. We write name equal to viewport. Okay, and what type of content I'm going to have in it. Okay, or it would be available to any type of devices. So width equal to, okay, width equal to device hyphen width. So indicate for device means it's general. Okay, for any device it should be accessible to, or it should be able to view it there. Okay, then student, I'm adding some more meta tag, meta elements. So that is a meta name. name equal to description. Just mind you, these details don't appear when we see the browser or see it in a browser. They are just some information about my complete web page which I am making. Content equal to, this is, say I'll name it criteria C. Criteria C, creating solution. Okay, so we are starting with a criteria C. And meta tag, if say like I want that this website, if someone searches for in Google, if someone types some keywords, and the search engine should look out for the respective website, so my website should get listed in it. Okay, so what type of keywords should be make my website to be available? Say like web designing. So I'll be mentioning some keywords there. It's totally up to me what type of keyword I write. Web designing, comma, okay, say MYP, comma, in responsive HTML, responsive HTML, or say HTML5, okay, or say layout. So these terms I'm just using layout in HTML. Okay, so these are my some of the met keywords content. If you want to give some like who is the author of the page, okay, who is creating, so you can also write in your name when you are making a page. Okay, content equal to, say I'm writing my name for the circulation. Okay, so let's proceed ahead now, students. So we have the meta tag, which is describing the data about the data, that is information about my web page information. Okay, then we have the title tag. I will tell the title tag. Title tags will make things appear on the screen. Okay, on the top you see web designing welcome, so it's something like this. I'll write welcome, okay, or otherwise I'll write web designing. Okay, design. So this is my title of the page. So let's proceed ahead now, student. Now what we have to do also, I'll be making an hyperlink. So let me just name it style sheet, and the hyperlink file will be coming href. But where this file is created, it is not in the, everything is in the, not in the solutions folder. In the solutions folder, so we denote the current folder with a dot. We are in the index.html is in the solutions folder. So this is, which is the current folder with a dot. And where we have to go, we have to tell him that we have to go to css folder. And css, what, okay, what file you have to look for, which I have not yet created. Okay, so I think I'll just create it quickly. So if I go to my solutions folder in the css folder, I'll just double click and then I create a file with the name style.css. okay, right now it is nothing there. And then I go back to my, okay, folder, that is solutions folder. Other things are minimized, solution folder, and then go back to our index folder and tell which file I want to refer. In the css folder there will be a file style.css which needs to be referred later on. Okay, so let me put them in quotes. Okay, so this part is done. So we are just preparing the title, the head tag, and we are trying to refer things up, which will be easy for us ahead. Okay, so let's proceed. The head part, this information is done. Now let's talk about our screen. Okay, so how to develop a screen. Okay, now the screen is divided into multiple sections. This will become in the header, this will come in the section, this would be another section, and then we'll be having, okay, footer, which would be in the created the last. Okay, so let's start with it. What we'll name it as that, we'll start with the body tag. Now inside the body tag, okay, I'll use the semantic tag, which is header. Okay, and whatever we write here denotes the header. Headers will be divided into two parts. Okay, so for the header, for making all the designing and dealing through css, I'll create a class with the name, let me name it as container. Okay, name it as container. And in this container, so I'm talking about this part here, students. In this container, what I want to do, I will divide into two sections here. One is, you can see MYP for web designing. This is text written, it could be some logo also. Okay, so this is something which is called as a branding part, and this is the navigation part, which will allow me to select and work as hyperlinks, right? Okay, so what I will do is that, okay, so here also I will divide my screen into two parts. I will write, say, div ID. This time I'm using ID, students. ID, I'm writing the name branding. What difference between an ID and a class? Okay, ID is unique. A class name can be repetitive. Branding, student, will come in the header section and it will be only one time. Okay, uh, it will be made. So I can, since if it's only one time to be used, okay, we refer it with the word ID. And in this branding part, what should be done? I have to write MYP for web designing. So let me put in H1 tag. I'll write MYP for web designing. Okay, designing. Fine. So once this is done, then the next part I would be writing is that we'll discuss about the navigation, nav tag. This is also part of the header section. That is, this is going to have three hyperlinks here. So let me name them. Okay, we write in the navigation section, okay, UL tag, unordered list. Let's have liahref equal to, say, home.html or index.html. This is, which is the current page also. And close this and we'll type it as home. Okay, home A, anchor close, control C. So these are the navigation. So we are putting the navigate nav tag. Second one could be like about us, so we'll write about.html and name it, say, about us. Third one is going to be services.html, so let me name it services and name is services.html. Okay, fine. So these are the tags which have been given now. This one is pretty easy, it's not that difficult to do. And let me save my work by command S, and we can test it out, okay, how it looks till now. So I'll go back to my folder, which is this index, which is coming in solutions folder. You can right click here and show it in browser. Okay, so it looks very simple. Okay, there's no styling and nothing been done yet, so of course it's very simple. Why there's no hyperlink coming up to this? Okay, ahref. So we have given a name to it, ahref tag. Okay, it should have displayed the name. Okay, text dot something different happening. Okay, let me refresh. Okay. Okay, I find it is working as an hyperlink, but don't know why the color is coming like this. Okay, so let's proceed ahead, students. Now the next part which we have to do, the header part, is done. So let us focus now on the next part, which is the, okay, I call it as the showcase, wherein we have the actual content, okay, main content talking about what the website is about. Okay, and this showcase I'll be going to create as a part of a section. Okay, so in the section, and let me, this showcase is also going to be only appearing one time for the complete website, so I can name it for the complete page. So I will put it in the ID and give the name as showcase itself. Okay, the section is done. Now again, this is some content here, so let me use a div tag. Okay, and div, I'll give a name, class equal to container. If you notice, container word is getting repeated. It was used above also, which was in the header section. So the container is a class and it can be repeated multiple times, but not the ID. Okay, so this will also container, it will also have some text. So I will write h1, say, my professional website, my professional website design. Okay, I'll write the same. Okay, and the next part is, let me just scroll like this. me just maximize it also so that yes. Okay. The next part is some content which is to place up. So we'll put a para tag student. Now this is something interesting. Okay, if we can write something blah 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 anything, but just some one point I want to show. I can we can type lorem, and if you specify with a number, say approximate 20 if I write, okay, and then just press the tab key. So student, some random text would appear, okay, and okay, so we don't have to type anything then. So this part is done. So this I put in the para tag, okay, para tag, and then the section part is done. Command S save, come to our web page. Let's see how it looks. Yes, fine. So it looks fine till here now. Okay, and let me see my design. So my two parts are done, student. Let's go to the third part. This is a newsletter section. Okay, so I'll name it also like that. I'll have another section this time. Section ID equal to newsletter. Okay, and in this section again there would be a div. We'll have a class and we'll name it as a container, and in the container we are going to have something that is okay. We have to write subscribe to our newsletter. Let me use h3 tag this time and write subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, h3, and then there is this text box and a button, and for that we'll be using a form tag. Okay, form tag, and then I'll write here in the form tag there's going to be input type equal to, okay, we are going to write an email. This is again coming in HTML file. Previously we used to write here text and a placeholder. Okay, placeholder will be what, see, you can see enter email coming inside it, so that text would come within it. But as soon as I start typing it, this text would disappear, student. See, it disappears then. Okay, so I'll write up here enter email. Okay, just put it up here so it's visible to you properly. Scroll up. Okay, enter email, and let's proceed ahead. It is very easy to developing a website. So if you notice, we go step by step. Okay, that's why we make criteria B. If my criteria B plan is ready, then just following those steps become easy. Okay, now close this tag here. Okay, and then what is the next thing to do? We need to add a button next to it. Okay, I need to keep both things visible. Okay, so we'll close this part. Space utilization. Okay, so let's add something which is the input has been made. Okay, and now I need to add, okay, another box which is going to be a button. Okay, and the button will be next to the my text box. Okay, subscribe button. So let me just label it quickly, button. That is the name of the component itself which we can use. Button type equal to submit. Okay, if it would have been my this, so right now we are focusing on building HTML pages, okay, which is the front end, but these details can also go to a server. Okay, and for that we have to use server side programming. It could be Java and all that, but right now we are learning only HTML and JavaScript and designing part. Okay, so but let us create for future perspective this text box and a button. Okay, and fine, so the button is done. Save it. Let's look how things look on the browser. Okay, so I'm having a text box and I'm having a button. Fine, what is further next for us to be done? So this part is done. Now we come to the next section part, student, wherein I have to add the images and some text, but already I've added the images in the images folder. So quickly this section getting closed. Let's open a new section. I will give a name ID to it. I'll name it as boxes because there are multiple boxes here. Okay, and then each box will have its own set of separate boxes, but first I'll create a container for this also. and through CSS we'll be controlling it, we'll be decorating it. And then let's have three separate boxes, say with div class equal to box. This is for the first HTML part. Okay, so I'll put in the separate box. Okay, and what you want, what is the text within it, say like h3. Okay, heading 3, and let's name the text. What is the HTML5? HTML5 markup. Okay, markup. Next is what? Okay, and we also need an image. To the image is coming first, so I'll add up here imgsrc equal to. Okay, again, where is the image saved, student? Image is in my folder dot, the current folder where I am in. Okay, or the go to the, in the current folder you can see an img folder. In the img folder there are images. The image which I'm going to select, logo html.png file. Okay, and this is my text here, and some more text to be written. So again I'll take the help of this lorem 15 tab. Okay, so this part is done. Okay, now let me copy this box and control C, control V one more time, control V one more time. Okay, and this time the instead of logo we are going to have another image. What is the image? Logo. Okay, logo HTML, logo underscore CSS is one image. So let use up CSS is system dash CSS CSS3 styling. Okay, styling, and the third box will have a name. Okay, and the name of this is our logo underscore brush, and the text for is graphics designing, graphic design. Fine, so into our next, this box is also done, graphic designing. Okay, then the section part is done. Then we come to the last part, that is the footer. Okay, I'll just press the enter key. Okay, the footer, what is the content on the footer? Okay, you want to see how much, how it looks for now, so just save your work. Okay, save my work, command S, and then cancel this. I don't want to resave, command S. Okay, and then go to a browser window and refresh the page. Oh, good. So we are getting, though the images are pretty big now, they are not properly aligned and all. Okay, they are not properly decorated, so our complete decoration part would come, but fine. So at least I'm able to add the text here, images here. So let's proceed to the last section, that is the footer section. In the footer, students, I need to add the simple text. Again, keep the screen. What is the text? We'll know MYP for web designing, copyright. Okay, so we'll put in the para tag MYP for web designing. Sorry, spelling mistake, designing. Okay, and then say copyright in small letter, capital anyway. This C symbol, student, how will I get it? We have to write ampersand, copy, and this. Okay, though it here appear like text here, but the copyright symbol would come, and then we write 2020. Again, save your work, go back to the browser, refresh your page. I'll be able to see, yes, the text is coming. Okay, so student, we are done with the HTML part now. Okay, now let's go to a CSS file. Okay, CSS file, all the decorations will happen. So let's start with the body tag, because body tag is holding the complete web page. See, the body tag starts here and it ends at the last part. So since the body tag is holding the complete web page, let us decorate first with the body tag. Okay, so we are going to add styling to it. So let's go to my style.css file. Let's write about the body tag. Okay, and the body tag, students, I can write here. Well, first in the font type, so we write font, not don't, but font, font hyphen family. Okay, let me select the family, that is Arial, Helvetica, and the sub font would be Helvetica sans serif. And if I need some font, okay, some font hyphen size. Okay, font hyphen size 15 pixels. Okay, line height, else if defined, so that let it have a uniform line height 1.5. Okay, and let me padding if I want to change. Okay, let me give, if you see up here in the output, okay, there's some spaces which appears. Okay, and so this I'll want to remove this spacing, so I can write padding tab padding 0. Okay, and margin also 0 pixels. Okay, and just specify with some background color. Student, for this time background color, now you notice that we can write a text also. We can see one more thing, there is some numbers or characters combination written, they are called hexadecimal format. Okay, so we don't have to remember these numbers, basically we deal with the text itself, but still if I want to use it, if I know something, then I can write like this and whatever appropriate F4, F4, F4. Okay, what this F4 indicate? This indicate the red first two, then next to green, and then blue. The combination RGB. So a respective color would appear. Let us save this file. Refresh the page. Let's see, and yes. So some basic changes are happening. Students, you will notice if I change to say 35. Then the completion body is holding the complete page. Refresh, see everything increases. So yes, so we are able to deal with the web page, we control the web page properly. So this is fine. 15 is the size. Okay, so we have the body tag. Let's continue ahead, student. Now majorly we use containers a lot for every section. I think if you go back to index page, we have containers for header, containers for, okay, section, this section giving the footer. Okay, everywhere the containers are used. So, and the container is something which is generically used. So let me, you define some properties to the containers too. I'll write dot container. Okay, define a width. This time I'm writing a width of 80, student, 80 percentage. Okay, not 80 pixel or 800 pixel percent. 80 percentage means what? Depending, irrespective of whatever device we are using, it will adjust itself to a range of 80 percentage. So this is a part of the making a responsive web page. Okay, and margin, I'll set it to auto. Student, here indicates that, okay, again if resizing are been done, it will automatically set itself. Overflow hidden student means, again it will be helpful during the resizing of when we see in the various devices. Okay, so yes, so you can see some like now there's a width been assigned properly, and margin is auto means equal distance, some equal spacings are being left. I just see like this. Okay, so if I don't write auto, say let's experiment it here. If I write 0, so what will happen? Save your work, come here, refresh your page. See, it's coming towards left hand side. Auto means it will automatically adjust itself to scale properly. Okay, so we have the feature here, auto. Now what is next? So we have given some container some default properties. Okay, so now let's have the section that is, let's talk about the header part now. Okay, because we start with the header, and header is was having two things. This was, if you remember, the branding, and this was the nav tag, right? So header, but header was not a class, it was just a tag. So I will not be writing with a dot sign. Now we'll deal one by one. We'll deal with header, then we'll deal with section, then we'll deal with footer. For header, okay, what type of background I want, so I'll define with the background. Okay, again for this also I'm having some fixed set of numbers with me, so I'm just using them. Say 35 red, green and blue. Okay, so some combination would appear. uh Save your work. Let's see. Yes, okay, but it's looking very dark. It's like a dark in color, so let me just change things a bit. The faux color I would like to change. Okay, let me change the faux color to white by red. Okay, so save, refresh, the faux color would change. So for this hyperlink it will not change, because this is this that will come because they hyperlinks, and you have to specify with the anchor tag. Okay, and next is what after this is done. Okay, so the faux color we have changed. Then again we can add some spacing and some alignments can be done to it. Okay, what I want to do further is, let me add to it some padding hyphen top. Okay, means some space from the top. Okay, and what, how much, say I'm writing is 30 pixels. Save, save, refresh. I'm actually writing one line, refreshing and showing you the output. Okay, some 30 pixel from the top it would be left. Okay, then soon we'll adjust the height to it, but again I'm using responsive way to mention it by writing min height. Okay, min height will, it's okay, we indicate with the minimum, okay, how much it should be aligned to, that I mentioned, though it output won't vary much here. Okay, and then some border bottom. Okay, if I don't give this also, okay, fine, these basic things we have set for the header. Okay, if you want to give some spacing below here, then we can write border. Okay, just let me write border hyphen bottom. Okay, and I'll indicate, say, okay, to the border hyphen bottom, okay, some 3 pixel. A minor spacing has come up here. Okay, so fine, this much looks fine here, but still there's more decorations to be done. Now let's deal with the anchor tag, students. This anchor tag is not looking very appropriate, so I'll talk about the anchor tag now. For the anchor tag, first I'll change the color, okay, so that it becomes properly visible. White is better because the background is dark. Okay, save, refresh. Yes, this is fine. Okay, let's phone ahead. I don't want any underlines to be there. The text hyphen decoration, let's remove it to none. No decorations needed. Okay, and text hyphen transform, I need, say, everything to be in uppercase here. Okay, and some basic font size I want to give, so let me give a font size of 16 pixels. Okay, save your work, refresh the page. Yes, fine, all things are looking fine, but still the dots are there which we want to remove, so we can talk precisely when we deal with the li tag. Okay, now let me write something. Yes, so let me write something for the li tag now. Okay, li. Okay, they all part of the header tag. Okay, and what we write for the li tag is, say, okay, they are on separate lines, so let me first make it display in line. Save, refresh. Good, so they are on one line now. uh, Let me give some spacings around it. We write with padding. Okay, now we can also specify with okay, the left spacing, which how much you want. Okay, towards the right how much you want. Okay, and top and bottom how much you want. So I'm just setting some spacings here. Let's see. Okay, so this, now there's a padding. Will have a padding means it gives spacings 20 pixels. Okay, and fine, so this one is done. Let's go to now the branding part. What I need is that if I see the screen, okay, it looks, my screen looks something like this for now. Okay, and what we really want is something like this. That is, if you scroll up, okay, yeah, see, there's a not one line is appearing below. So for when I go to border bottom, I'll specify it with a color. Okay, so hash, okay, E8491T. Okay, so yes, save, come here, refresh. Yes, so you can see this red line coming, which is of 3 pixel and is solid. Okay, good. Now student, what is the next step? Yes, you can see is here it is more towards the left, and this part is toward the right, it's floating towards the right. So that we have to change now. So let me come back to my page. Li tag, this much part is done. Okay, now let us go to the header. Okay, and the branding. Okay, the branding was this MYP for web designing, but it was an ID. With ID we denote with the hash symbol. Okay, so branding it. Okay, and we write float towards the left side. Let's see the change. Okay, so if you see float towards the left, what it will do, it will float to left, and whatever space it had, okay, the space which it was not using, see, I'll remove this command as save. Let me keep the old one. Okay, this space he was not using. When I write float left means it will move towards the left and it will give space for other text to appear. Okay, so paste it again, command save it. Okay, but again, is it properly coming? Yes, it is properly coming, but yeah, but it is very near to it. So but, and this part was the nav tag, inside place a nav tag, right? Okay, so also what I want is that we'll just complete the branding for this. Okay, h1, see, by default h1 has its own padding done, so I would like to remove that padding for the h1 tag, lessen the padding. So I'll write again header branding, and this time I'll write for h1 what I want to change is margin to be set to 0. Again save, command S, refresh. Let's see the change. This is looking for now like this. Okay, so it has moved. See, the padding has lessened up, the margin I have reduced. Okay, though his own h1 has his own default spacing, so that will appear. Now this gap, this we need to move this ahead. So the navigation tag, so we'll write header nav, which is my nav was also a HTML semantic tag, so we don't represent with a dot or something. We write float right. Okay, save, refresh. Okay, so if I see my screen, yes, see, it is coming towards the right side part. Actually, if it's a proper big screen, it will come to right side part. Okay, and some, okay, there's no, this distance, if you see, it is bit down, so I want to put it bit up. So I'll go back to the nav tag and write here margin hyphen top. Okay, what, how much pixels I need? 10 pixels. Save your work, come back, refresh your page. Okay, okay, yeah, I need a bit down actually. So if you need it, okay, how, if you look here, okay, bring it closer and see. Yeah, okay, and this also, if I bring it closer, actually should be coming margin top. I should be having less pixels, say 5 pixel. Okay, more, it was given 0. Save, come here, refresh. Okay, so this one looks a bit better. It's coming in at least in a line now. Okay, fine. So student, we can just play around with this, set the margin, set the coordinates accordingly. Let's proceed ahead now. What is remaining, student? If you see that this is highlighted here, MYP4, and if I'm on the current page, I want this part also to be highlighted. So let me come here and we'll define some additional tag. I'll write header because this part was coming. Okay, they all come in the header tag. Okay, header and dot highlight. This is, but I've not created this class yet. Okay, so I'll be creating it now in some time by going to back to my HTML file. Again, a header I'll create, say dot current for the anchor tag, for this a tag, for the first one I want to create. And what should happen, student, is that whenever the color should change for this, okay, color hash, and we can understand what is happening, means I need a bit red color to come. Okay, 9 1D. Okay, and font weight will assign font weight. Okay, say bold. Okay, so mostly we add the class first and then we write the CSS property, but this time I wrote the CSS property first, and now I'm going to go to the HTML file, highlight. Okay, so see, so what I'm going to do, we'll go up where we had written MYP4, yeah, this part. This part I'm going to put in the span tag. What different between span and div is that div adds its own padding, okay, but whereas span doesn't. Span is for single line. Div spans in multiple line. For span, and here I will write, see, class equal to highlight. What is the class name I've given? We'll give the same name, highlight. Okay, highlight. So when I refresh, save your work, refresh, see, you notice the changes. Okay, so only this much part, student, is getting, because we have used the span tag for which content, only the span closing. So after span closing comes here, student, so it is only the MYP4 which is getting affected. Same I want for my home page also to appear like this, and the home page we have given with the current A. Okay, the anchor tag is mentioned. Okay, and it's for, so I'll write here li class equal to current. Save, refresh. Yes, good. So now, yes, the current page which is highlighted. Okay, now student, what is the further thing we need to do is, okay, when we scroll on the other tags here, at that time, okay, it's the color should change, or when you hover on it. So we come back to a CSS file. Okay, and then we write here something like this, the hover property we'll be using. So I'll write here header anchor hover. Okay, so when we hover into it, what should we want to do? We want to change the color. Okay, so color hash red, green, blue, some color, and say font weight, want it as bold. Okay, so let's see the change. Some color appears when we move the mouse cursor on it or not. Yes, color changes. Yeah, see, the color is changing. Okay, so this part is also done. What is further for us now? Let's go back. Okay, so our finally our header page is somewhat ready. Okay, students, so yes, this is looking fine. Let's go back now. Let's work on our section page. Okay, CSS takes time, so let's go back to our section page. Okay, and now, which was also termed as showcase page, right? So I'll just comment it. Now I'm writing something for showcase. Okay, showcase, we have, if you remember, we have used it as an ID, so we'll write showcase with an hash symbol. Okay, and the showcase covers this part, right? Okay, and the showcase can also define as the main height. Again, if any changes to the screen happens, okay, it will align itself accordingly. In height, I'll define it 400 pixels. Okay, background hyphen URL, because there should be an image coming up. Okay, and the URL. Okay, how about how we write it, students? See now, background, we write background colon, sorry, background colon URL. URL stands for uniform resource locator. It is available in my folder, which is in the image folder. Okay, but CSS is not, the style.css file is in the CSS folder. So this time I will be writing two dots, student. If you recollect, in HTML file I had written one dot, but here it come two dot. Why? Because we, this two dot will take me one step back, that is, it will take me to the parent folder. And what is the parent folder of the CSS folder? Is the folder which we created, that was solution folder, right? So it will take me there, and from there I will navigate. Where I have to go is the image folder I have to go, and which file? Showcase.jpg file. Okay, so this is the file which I need to select. And if it appears multiple times on the screen, we can write cover, or we can also use another property, okay, which is called no repeat. No repeat means just make it appear once. No repeat. Okay, save your work, come here, refresh the page. Okay, but I wanted the image to be scrolled bit up. Okay, so we can change, okay, x-axis I'll keep 0, and since I want to make it a bit up, I'll be changing the y-axis. Okay, and to the y-axis I'll specify, say, minus 400 pixel. Let me just check the effect of it. See, so see, the image has gone up now because we have minused it. We have made the image to go upwards. Okay, fine. Now what is further to be done? So this part is fine. Okay, let's come back, and now further to be added is that the image has been added now. Okay, now let's talk about, okay, the our text thing. Okay, we want the text hyphen align to be in the center. Okay, so it look better, and the color also I want to change for my text. We'll just write color property. Color property, okay, white is very often used, so let me use white. Save, come back, refresh. Okay, fine. So we are having some text been written here, and this showcase has been set. Now let's work on h1 tag individually and the para tag also individually. Okay, so again, how we refer to that hash showcase, we'll write about h1. Okay, what we'll write in the for h1 is then, okay, margin hyphen top. Okay, because I want to change, okay, the margins for it, say 100 pixels. Okay, it will command s, save, refresh. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it will come bit down. Okay, and then we want also the font of this to be much bigger because it's denoting a title. So say font size, I'll write, say, 55 pixel. Okay, also let's see, let's go and see. Okay, that's also fine. Okay, it's looking better. And see, there's some gap to be given. So for the bottom side, the top and bottom, if I write margin hyphen bottom, okay, for bottom I'll denote, say, 10 pixels. So save your work, come back, refresh. Okay, yes, so gap is getting reduced a bit because my text should appear next. Okay, so fine. So this is for the h1 tag. We scroll down, this one, let's go up. Okay, then we write about the para tag. Para tag should not much to be done. We write showcase. Okay, we'll denote with showcase. Okay, small showcase p para tag, and for the para tag we'll write font size. Of course, this will be a smaller font size compared to the h1 tag. Font size h1 I had written some 55 pixels. I'll just write 20 pixels. Command s, save, refresh. Yeah, looking better. Okay, so yes, students, so we have completed now two sections. Let's go to the third one, that is our newsletter section now. Okay, so let me comment newsletter. Okay, what to be written newsletter is that, again, newsletter was denoted by an id. We write newsletter. Okay, and what should be adding to it, again, we'll do some spacing, some alignment. Say first I'll write some padding. Okay, padding, I wanted some gap only to be of 15 pixel. Save, let's refresh and see how it looks. Okay, yes, so a bigger space has come down from here on the top. Color, font color, I want to change, keep it white. Okay, and we also want to change the background color. So I'm giving different colors to different background. And color, I'm giving, okay, save, refresh. Okay, yes, this is looking good. So this is one part. So basic coloring part done. Now next, further, let's talk about h1 for this hash news letter h1. Okay, so student, what I want to do with the h1, that is this text. Okay, if you notice up here, okay, again the same thing which we did here. We wanted to float toward the left and this towards the right. Okay, so that when you put it left, okay, it will occupy, it will come above, not be down then. So float left, this, come back, refresh. Okay, so I'm writing up here float left. Okay, fine. And then next I'll also write for the form tag. Okay, though it should have scrolled up. Okay, now I'll write about the form tag, that is hash newsletter. Let me write for the form tag and see. Okay, and we'll write for this form tag, and what we want to do for the form tag is float towards the right side, to right side. Okay, but in the top margin, okay, see when it's moving towards the right side, okay, but it should be bit up. So for that, students, I will be changing the top margin, or margin top, margin hyphen top. Let me change margin hyphen top, let me change it to 15 pixels. Command S, come back, refresh. So realign and see, no, it's not coming the way which we need. Okay, so fine, so let's see why, what can further be done, okay, to it. So we have indicated, okay, yeah. So now further what should we have to write is that the decoration, see if you look at this output here, okay, it is, if I maximize, it's coming better. So actually something in the news, subscribe to our newsletter, which was the h1 tag. Okay, there I have to look forward. Okay, and okay, newsletter is written h1. Okay, and now student, what I'll just complete this, then we'll see. For the button we'll write further. For the button, if I want to go to a better decoration, okay, and to add more decoration, what I will do is that I will let me add a class to the button. Okay, so we'll go back to our program. Where is our button? It was written inside this newsletter section. Okay, showcase was done in the newsletter section. Let me create a class for the button. Okay, button type submit, class equal to, okay, we'll give a name, say button underscore one, button underscore one. Okay, so let me write some properties for this. Okay, so let me HTML file, will write for the button, that is dot button one. Okay, button underscore one. And what we want to specify is some basic height. I'm giving a, say, 38 pixel. Okay, and then we have background to it. Let me give a background is hash e, okay, 8491t. Okay, and border, by default the button has a border, so I'll remove it. So let's see and see till now how it looks. Okay, and then when I refresh my page, yes, okay, looking fine. Okay, but still I am just concerned with this placement. Okay, it should have been scrolled up. Okay, but fine, let's continue with the button part and let's finish this thing. So we have the border 0, and then padding hyphen left. Okay, left padding, left spacing, I wanted a 20 pixel because very close to the text box. Okay, and also say padding right, will give padding right, okay, we'll specify with its 20 pixel, and then we'll set some color. Okay, color means the text within it, say it's white color. Right. Save, come here, refresh the page. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, Now let's proceed ahead, students. Let me write further for. Okay, so this button part is done, the showcase part is done. Now let's go to the section, okay, of our, okay, form is done. Okay, yeah, input type, the text boxes also, so we can some decorate further to our text boxes too. I can write here for my text boxes hash newsletter. Okay, as newsletter input, we can precisely mention what is the component which we use. Input type equal to, it was email, right? Okay, the text box name was email. Okay, and for this what we want to do, okay, we want to give a padding to it. Padding is say 4 pixels with some spacing I want to give. Okay, from all corners. Height, okay, yes, height I want to change now to 25 pixel, and width also I want to change now to 250 pixels. On S, come back, refresh the page. Okay, so this newsletter part is coming. Okay, still I want to see why it's not aligned on the top. Okay, but fine, so this much part is coming for us. Now let's go to the next section, that is dealing with the boxes, students. Now boxes also, okay, we had defined with a class, so I'll write, okay, with an id actually, with the name boxes, which was common for all the three boxes. Say give us title top space margin top, and specifying with 20 pixels. Okay, file, save, refresh the page. Yes, some see the spacing is coming from the top. Let's add further. Now for now the individual boxes which is coming in this boxes tab. So box I've written is the class, so we write dot box. Okay, and what we want to do, we want the text to be, okay, coming next to them first. Okay, so I can write here float left. When I do so, refresh the page. Okay, so we have the text which is there. We have to write further properties so that it can be aligned properly. Okay, and text hyphen align, let me write center, then we specify width to these boxes here. With the width, then it will come accordingly, and write 30 percentage. Okay, and so now if I see here, save and refresh, student, see. Okay, so now it has 30 percentage. Okay, now float left effect is coming, student. Float left means the other points also there. Okay, which is coming, and we have the, okay, text align is coming the center, 30 percentage. There's some spacing to be given, so I'll just add padding to it. Padding is the spacing we specify. I'm writing say 30 pixels. 30 pixels. Save, refresh, just have a look at it. Okay, fine, good. So it's looking fine. Okay, so this is some part which is appearing for me now. Just to go back to my page. Okay, so the textures are appearing. Let's add further. Now what is part is which is remaining is, okay, yes, we can, the images are pretty big, so we can also change the images. Okay, and I'll just change the box padding not to be too big actually. Specify 10 pixels and see. Okay, pixel, but the images are too big, that's why it could be. So I'll change the images also. Okay, sizes, that is hash boxes, and for the, we specify with a dot box and the img tag, img. Okay, dot box, and for that we had the image which was used. Okay, and to the image we specify a width of say 90 pixels. 90 pixels, save, refresh. Okay, yes, this is better. Okay, now see. So now it's evenly divided, and all the three images we is coming on one line properly. Okay, fine. So this part is done. Boxes part is also we have about to finish. So and then we have something which is to be add up. Okay, is the sidebar. Okay, sidebar will indicate, okay, no, this part is done. Then we have the final one is the footer. Okay, for adding the footer, students, what we'll do is we'll go to the footer section, and the last part which comes is the footer part. Footer, enter, curly braces, let me write about footer. Okay, footer currently is looking very simple, very plain, so we'll add footers properly. Let's put the enter key here. Okay, footer, we'll give again the padding to it. Padding is a 20 pixel. Okay, margin hyphen top, margin hyphen top, I'll specify the 20 pixels. Okay, color will change to hexadecimal format, it will be white. Okay, let's see how it looks for now. Refresh my page, refresh the page. Okay, and okay, so there's more